Back to the Danny V show. If you didn't catch last episodes, I was in deep conversation with the incredible Flo Madden. So jump back over and have a look at that. But today we're going to be talking about something a little bit uncomfortable and intentionally so. It's something that I've been noticing within my clients and also leaders around me because I'm seeing this across every organization, every corporate team, and in leadership circles. I think it's so important to start discussing what's really happening out there. Honestly, it's time to talk about it. We have leaders everywhere wondering around why their KPIs aren't slipping. I hear it every single day. Why their teams are disconnected and disengaged. Why performance is down, and yet they're not looking at the one variable that actually moves the results, and that is themselves. So here's the truth, and this might sting a little. You cannot expect your team to show up for you when you aren't showing up for yourself. I'm not talking about skills, strategy, intelligence. You've got that. I'm talking about self-leadership, your mindset, the discipline, the radical responsibility for who you are being every single day. Let me go around this in some Australian data. 60% of Australian leaders say they're struggling. 16% of Australians say they're fully engaged at work. And only 14% of employees say their workplace encourages it, down from 24% just a few years ago. So when we talk about KPIs, results, productivity, culture, we're not dealing with staff. We're not dealing with a staff problem. No, we are dealing with a leadership problem, because when leaders aren't thriving, teams don't thrive either. And we want our teams to thrive. What I'm seeing over and over again is leaders choosing busy over leadership. Busy becomes the badge of honor. We've seen it all before, right? Busy becomes the identity. Have you heard yourself saying, I'm back to back, I can't do it. I haven't had time. I'm so slammed today. I'll get to it later, okay? But you know what busy really is? It's a shield. It's a distraction, and it is a way to avoid doing the deeper work of self-leadership, because busy feels like you're doing something. It feels productive. Being busy is not the same as being effective, though. Leaders spend all day in meetings, yet they don't spend 10 minutes activating their mindset. They don't spend 5 minutes checking in on themselves. They don't even spend a minute asking, am I being the leader I expect my team to follow? You cannot regulate someone else's behavior if you cannot regulate your own. Something to think about. You cannot demand standards from others when you don't hold them within yourself. You cannot build a high-performance culture if your own internal culture is absolute chaos. Self-leadership is the foundation of everything. It is the foundation of reaching those KPIs. It is the clarity. It is your presence. It is your emotional regulation. It is your decision-making, your energy, and your follow-through in saying and doing what you say you're going to do. And most importantly, it is your integrity. Now, here's something that you probably won't like hearing, and that is your team doesn't follow what you say. They follow who you are. So let's talk about radical responsibility, the thing most leaders avoid. Radical responsibility is not blame, it's not shame, pressure, power. It's saying, I am the common denominator in all of my results, good or bad. I play a role in every single outcome. This is something that can be quite confronting, but it is essential in understanding that leadership role, understanding that you are responsible for the results that you want to get. Where am I contributing to the lack of results? That's a question you can ask. Where am I modeling inconsistency? That's something that I've really had to reflect on in the past. When leaders don't look inward, they default to blaming the market, economy, industry, team, systems, business. I've even seen leaders blame the coach that's trying to guide them into really stepping into being that leader they deserve to be. And their team deserves them to be as well. They blame anything but themselves. Your internal world sets the tone for your external results. So every single time, your internal world is what is marking the KPI. I want to give you a mirror moment right now, a gut check. So ask yourself, what am I tolerating in myself that I would never tolerate in my team? Because the answer to this question, that's the growth work. That's the inner work. Your next level is not another KPI dashboard. It's not another strategy day, not another high performance workshop where you don't apply anything. It starts with you. Leadership is not about doing more. It's about becoming more self-aware, more self-regulated, intentional, grounded, integrated, responsible. When you lead yourself well, you don't have to micromanage your team. People rise to meet your standard because you embody it. They see that. They feel that. That's why self-leadership isn't optional anymore. It's a differentiator, the competitive edge, the thing that determines whether your team is part of the 16% engaged or the 84% that checked out. That's really something to think about, isn't it? So if you're listening today, you're a leader, corporate business, team, community, it doesn't really matter. It can be just in life. Here's your call to rise. Stop choosing busy. Stop outsourcing your power, blaming the external. Lead yourself first with intention, responsibility, clarity, and presence. Because when you elevate your inner world, your outer world follows always. I can guarantee this for you. If you're ready to step into that next level, connect with me. I would love to hear how you are really rising above. This is the work I live. It's the work I breathe and teach. And I'd love to support you in becoming the leader you know you're meant to be. If this hit home for you, I would love for you to share this with another leader, or maybe there's somebody that you feel really needs to hear this right now. If you can share that with them, leave a 5-star rating and review so other people can start seeing and learning how to really step into their radical responsibility as a leader and really make shifts and changes for our entire world so that we are a better place. See you next time. Thank you so much for joining me on the Danny V Show today. I hope you're leaving this episode feeling inspired and empowered. My goal is always to bring you elegant insights with a bold impact. If you enjoyed our conversation, I invite you to subscribe to the show and leave a quick review. Your feedback not only means the world to me, but it also helps other growth